1978 Williams World Cup Soccer. Before I really get into it, for some reason I want to fix this problem. You notice on this display, we're missing the top line on this, the top segment on this display, you know, compared to, like, say, this one. And, you know, sometimes it's the connectors, these edge connectors, things are not all that robust, and there's more of them over there. Or you can burn up these resistors here or here, these 10K resistors. But on this particular one, I didn't see any burn on those resistors. And the connectors, you know, after doing some wiggling, I didn't get any change. But check this out. Notice I'm not using a conductive thing. Go to this end pin. Watch this. I'm going to push up on this pin. Look, when I push up, it works. When I let go, it doesn't. Up, it works. Let go, it doesn't. So I think we just got a cracked solder joint right there. So I'm going to fix that first. There's some other stuff we got to do too, but for some reason this is just bothering me. I want to do it first. I don't know if you can see it, but these two, right by my thumb, the two solder joints are both cracked. These single-sided boards, where it doesn't have plated through holes, have a lot of problems with this. So I'll just resolder these two leads and we should be fine. It should fix the missing top edge of this display segments. Resoldered that, and look, now it works magically well. It's just the simple things. Inside the back box, some interesting stuff. Somebody replaced the power supply with one of these fancy new Rotten Dog ones. Pretty cool. Somebody has replaced the interconnect. That looks really fresh and new. It's got a new battery holder. They didn't combine the two proms into a single EEPROM. They could have combined these two into a single EEPROM that went here. For some reason, they didn't do that, but they did resocket these. They resocketed this. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scan Bs on the CPU board. 6 of them. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And to make matters worse, 1, 2, 3 scan B sockets on the driver board too. Yuck. I can do my twist test on these sockets, and they're actually passing on the twist test. So, let me turn it off. See if it passes the finger test. No, look at that. It doesn't pass the finger test at all. Come right out. And we're going to have to replace these scan B, these closed frame scan B sockets. It's got to happen. Otherwise, I'll be coming back out here when the game doesn't work. Remember, always use the Heiko in this position, not in that position. In this position, the collector fills with solder here. If you do it like this, the collector is always trying to pull the solder up through the tube, and it just gets clogged. So always use the Heiko in this position. Important tip. Through, and I release all the pins, push them, and you get a little click. As you push them off, you do them all after they're solder sucked. And if you've done everything right, a couple magic taps, maybe no magic taps today, but still this thing comes right out with my fingers. Look at that, it comes right out. If you're really good, it taps out. So I've just replaced one socket. A nice tip is you replace them one at a time, then test the board. That way, if you make a mistake in replacing a socket, you'll know exactly where the error is. Now, a neat thing about these white flipper-ROM games that only applies to white flipper-ROM games is that you can turn this game on without the driver board, and it'll come up in attract or in audit mode. See, so we can see the CPU board's running. But that only works with white flipper-ROM games. In yellow and green flipper-ROM games, the later the system 4 through 6 and even 7, you got to have the driver board or the game won't boot. But you can always do the test with the LEDs. See how they go on system 3 and 4 games, on system 4 and 6 games. They'll come on, go off, and then come back on. Usually it means the CPU board's good. All the CPU sockets have been replaced. Get rid of the scan Bs. Do our power on. Again, because it's a system 3, we can boot it without the driver board and see the displays come up. So now we're move on to the driver board. I got 1, 2, 3 scan Bs on there I got to replace. Here's all the scan B sockets I had to remove. We got the game powered on, and it's in attract mode. Not much of an attract mode, frankly. But, okay, so sockets. This was good. The pins, somebody else had resoldered. So somebody had done some work. They were getting there, but they just didn't get all the way. So now we're good and we're ready to do a little play testing. Baby.